Okie dokie. I see people trickling in, just as
Cool.
expected. Welcome back to those of y'all who were here last week. We chilled hard last week. What did we talk about? We talked about Rarible last week, which is pretty cool.
Rarible. And then a couple days ago, well, actually yesterday was Anorak. Anorak talking about Top Shot. That was interesting.
Cool.
I know Top Shot is like freaking huge in just because of the NBA, man. And it was interesting with listening to them on the licensing too. The licensing was only on highlights. Other people have licensing on images. It's like, man, it gets down to that level, man. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always like real valuable whenever these NFT projects figure out the legalities of these things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, the connection that they must have, dude, to the NBA to like have that license.
Yeah, it's got to be huge.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, not really, because they're probably struggling because of COVID. So they're actually giving away licenses a lot more easier than they were before, because they're getting no revenue.
Oh, I see. Yeah, good point.
That's interesting.
Very interesting. So sports are actually ripe for licensing. So NFT and sports right now, if you're in that game, I'd be going hard with licensing.
What other industries do you think are hurting like that? Like the movie industry's probably hurting, right? Maybe they could do like movie
cinema
moments.
Industry.
Cinema moments can be NFTs.
Yeah.
Why not?
Cinema moments, damn.
Dude, like what's a good what's one that stands out to you, Will? What's
Aliens.
the most epic?
Aliens when the alien mouth comes out.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's your number one movie moment?
Yeah, that's the first
Imagine
one.
if you own the number one official one-of-one movie moment of like the alien coming out of someone's stomach from Alien or something.
Exactly.
Like that's my moment. I own that moment. That's pretty cool. I think mine would probably be The Matrix. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
When Neo stopped the bullet, he's like, he's the one. Or like he's beginning to believe. You know what I mean?
Cool. That could actually be a pretty big industry, I reckon.
Oh, I'm sure it can, dude.
But you know what? The NBA has like licenses, but you would have to go get licenses from all the movie producers, and not the producers, but the publishers. Like that would be tough.
Yeah, true.
But all right, boys, let's get started. Let's introduce the Sandbox. So we're going to be going through the Sandbox. If you guys have seen it, if you guys have not, it's kind of similar to those virtual world projects where there's like a map where you can buy plots of lands. But in those plots of land, I believe they're isolated instances similar to Roblox. So you can't move from one land to the other, but you can build what you want within that land. And I also think there's I read this somewhere, but there was like a limit to 32 or 64 people per land. But yeah, it looks like gameplay-wise it's going to be cool.
That's a pretty good number, though. Wouldn't you think? Like, if from your history of gaming, there's not many experiences that like require more than 60 people, I would think. You know, if you're just trying to build like an individual game experience. So
well, that Battle Royale has 100 people, right? The Battle Royale game.
That's true. Like
Fortnite, yeah, it starts with 100, but that gets trickled down fast.
I mean, it's a gaming platform, so it's probably not going to be good for conferences, but in terms of games, and it's got that fluidness and PvP necessary. So
true. So already starting out good. I like it.
So can you see this, Iman? Can you see this?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, let's go through Steam. So who wants to talk about the history of what they were?
Yeah, I just liked one of the things that stood out to me is that this project, I guess, transitioned into the blockchain space after I would consider this a relatively successful already, video game offering on the Steam platform. I think they've had 40 million downloads, which to me sounds like a pretty big number. I mean, it's not like a Minecraft or a Roblox type numbers, but
dude, 40 million is huge.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then I was right. Yeah. Feels big to me. Like 40 million is something. So these guys have been around since I think 2011 on Steam and iOS and Android. So I guess they felt like there's I guess one of the big questions we have in the NFT space is like, when are these big juggernaut companies gonna enter, right? And like maybe there's resistance on a lot of their part because they already have such thriving business models. They're generating ridiculous amounts of revenue. Why would they distribute that to their community, right? It doesn't make sense to a lot of already existing like corporate entities. Like we don't want this community owned ecosystem. We want to reap all of that benefit, you know?
Yeah.
So the Sandbox, maybe they have like a good brand already established, but maybe they weren't generating the most amount of revenue. Like if you compare them to like an already like a juggernaut. So I think they felt like an opportunity there. Like they could maybe, you know, play around with this whole new technology and see if they could build something big.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the YouTube, like how many YouTube videos they have and if they actually picked up traction, because
I saw that too.
I've never heard of the Sandbox, like none of my friends or my nephews or anyone ever playing it. But when you go on YouTube and you YouTube the video, you can see comments like, "Oh, nostalgia! I remember playing this when I was younger." So maybe it was like something that was big 8 years ago or something.
Yeah, I think 2011 was when they first. I think it was started out mobile. So you can imagine that's around. Well, when did Minecraft start? Well, like around 2010, I think.
No, it was a little bit older than that, like 2006, 2007.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe Roblox was around 2010. But either way, like, you know, that whole voxel architecture started to really permeate like the culture around that time. So I think they definitely like hopped on board.
Yeah.
They're carrying on into this blockchain space. Voxels are still hot, as we've seen.
So let's talk about the raise that they have, so the funding aspect of things.
Okay, so the Sandbox raises $2 million more to build out a blockchain-based game world. Yeah, that's interesting. You know, having to raise $2 million is a big time effort for everybody involved. So that's actually pretty huge. And so we actually interviewed Sebastian not too long ago, and that was before the first land sale. So one of the things that I think everybody's starting to recognize now is that selling land is pretty huge. And so now that they're doing it, well, I wonder, like, what's the point of their land in that current configuration if you can't go from one land to the other? If you're basically teleporting from one little sandbox world that somebody created into another sandbox world. So I just wonder, like, why they chose this configuration as if you could travel from one point to the other.
Yeah, I think they kind of jumped on the land sale bandwagon a little bit, but looks like they're creating portals where you can go from one land to the other, and maybe that gives value to being next to these like iconic brands, because maybe people, if you think about it, like if there's a lot of people playing Shaun the Sheep, and then they get bored, and then they kind of explore different areas, then you know they've only like got those minimum teleport places that they can go to. So maybe that's why the neighboring lands will get a bit of that value. But then I wonder if they're going to have separate servers, because if they can only have 32 to 64 people per instance, can they have multiple games running at the same time?
Yeah, that's weird.
Must be right.
What's the price for one of these parcels?
So I think it ranges from like $30 to $40. The current pre-sales is at 43 USD pegged, I believe.
Yeah, and that's another interesting thing. Like each parcel is the same price, right? There's no like auctioneering going on. There's no like speculative Genesis Plaza, right? Where it's like everyone's thinking the center land is going to be the most valuable. I think they just predetermine value. Every little chunk of land they put out is just like this is it. This is how much it cost, which is interesting. And then from there you could purchase as much land as you want. And like you see, the big squares are people who combine that into estates and turn them into like, you know, their own personal branding platform, as you can see.
Are those giant green squares are basically owners who haven't put in their logo? Is that all that means?
Sandbox?
Yep.
Yeah. The giant green squares?
Oh, the giant green squares.
Yeah, those
estates.
I
think so.
Okay.
So with the Sandbox, you could buy, and it's very smart of them, where you could buy like preset estates. So these estates were already formed, and you can buy, you know, 50 pieces or 10 pieces based on whichever one you want. So it's a smart way of actually selling out your land, because if you're just selling them individually, you're going to have issues of it selling out. So.
It's sort of like the districts in Decentraland, right? They were sort of predetermined to be in certain locations, and then... I think
the way the districts were formed was that the money was committed first. Like people committed 1,000 mana first, and they collected how many sets of that 1,000 mana contributions there were, and then they decided where to put those districts.
Okay.
I think it worked a bit differently. I can't remember, but yeah.
So those people who contributed 1,000 mana, they didn't already have that land in that district.
No, I don't think so. No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And at that time, mana was probably like what, 15 cents, 10 cents, something like that. So it wasn't like a huge contribution.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's move forward. So we have another $3 million token sale with. This is a new one. This is the Binance Launch Pad.
This is pretty recent. This is like a couple months ago. Yeah, August, right there, August 5th. So this is this when they officially launched their the Sand currency, right?
Well, this is an IEO, but I think they had Sand before that, didn't they?
No, they did. Yeah, they had the Sand before that. So this is a percentage of that supply.
Yes.
Which they've kind of sold it to.
Yeah, so they sold it. They sold the percentage to Binance, and then the rest is going to be through the Launch Pad.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this is interesting because it went out for a $3 million valuation and it shot up to like 30 mil. So I think people made like 5 to 10x.
Damn.
Whoever got through and were able to participate.
As most things do, right? Whenever they go through Binance, that's kind of like the purpose.
I think what Binance is doing though is it's like, because it's got the traffic and because they're kind of qualifying people that hold BNB to be able to participate in these sales, I think they're kind of creating that secondary market demand because there's not many people that have that. And so you only sell like $3 to $4 million worth of it on Binance, but then suddenly because of the volume, it'll easily go up higher on the secondary market. So they're basically creating demand for the IE and the demand for the BNB token. They don't want the primary sale to do well. They actually want it to do, they want it to do well, but they want the valuation to be low so that on the secondary market, once it goes public, it goes nuts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But basically, these two events just all it indicates is that the funding is there, which is an essential ingredient when it comes to determining whether or not some kind of project, has any long-term viability, right? Everything costs money in this world. It's a lot harder to build anything without any money.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And if you've seen their builder, their little game builder, it's actually pretty well detailed, man. It's like, if you think of, our backgrounds are really into Decentraland, but if you compare the two builds, with the builder in Decentraland, the one in Sandbox, it's like night and day difference. Like, there's like,
but I think the benefit though is that the Sandbox has an already predetermined style.
That's true.
I guess we'll get there once we actually find the tab that explains this, but it's a voxel world.
Sure.
Decentraland has like way more. It's got an infinite variability to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a lot more difficult.
This is really interesting. This is the token supply, the tokenomics. So
let's look at that.
3 billion total token supply and 360 million or 12% of that supply was allocated to the Binance Launch Pad.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the circulating supply is. Must be like 20% or something.
I don't have that information on my list, but I know that advisors get 10%, and then the seed sale that I think they're talking about here is 17%. Founders is 19%. So if you compare the token split, the tokenomics to other projects, it's pretty fair. The company reserves 25%, the founders reserve 19%, and then strategic sale, launchpad sale, and then the foundation. So they have their own little foundation, so reserved for the community to, I guess, decide on some platform element that they want to be integrated with their current game. But it's pretty standard. Like I don't see any like huge red flags. Now the fact that they're reserving maybe 25% might be a little too huge. I don't see a community element to this other than the foundation part. So other than that, I don't see any red flags here.
What would you anticipate as far or what would you rather see for community? Like some kind of like a play to earn model where players are earning?
Yeah, exactly. What's interesting about the Sand token right now is that it's coming after Rarible, and Rarible has already established sort of what the expectations are around NFTs. And so I was expecting like many of the projects to have some element of mining where you give these tokens to people who are using the platform as sort of like an incentive to like continue building and promoting it.
I'm
But
pretty, yeah.
it doesn't seem like that's what they're doing though.
I have a feeling they have to be doing that. I mean, they're deeply in ties with the whole play to earn movement in the space. Them and Axie are like neck and neck with like trying to make that a reality. From what I've seen, like personally, off of my own due diligence, I guess. I don't know the exact details of that yet. Maybe like if we look at the roadmap, it's probably like something like a couple years into the future that they have planned.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that's kind of like in the blockchain space, these cryptos, these NFT assets, that's kind of like a huge incentive to get people to stay engaged, you know what I mean, into their ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, so speaking about the foundation, if you look at their roadmap in 2023 is their DAO, and that's the very last element on their roadmap. So yeah, it's gonna take a while to get there. So maybe the community involvement doesn't happen until after.
Were you talking about the Decentraland, the Sandbox?
The Sandbox DAO, yeah, it's 2023. It says the Sandbox DAO will allow to participate in major decisions on the game platform.
To be honest, I don't know if they're going to focus on that DAO anytime soon. I think it's just like jumping on the trend of what's probably going to be important. So it's like you got to appeal to the DAO and the decentralized nature of this.
Yeah.
But right now they have to tailor the platform to suit the gamers, because the gamers don't give a shit about the DAO.
Yeah. So it's I was going to say, I mean, so far the only successful DAO that I've seen is Ethereum. And I haven't seen like a huge amount of participation in any other DAOs that I've been a part of in any other communities. Have you guys seen anything different?
Like DAOs being actually used.
Yeah, like actually community involvement and all that stuff. I know you're into like the honey token. I'm not
DeFi
seeing
stuff, but it's only when it's hot though. Like when those projects are hot, that's when it's mattered. Like Sushi Swap and
you're right. Uniswap had millions of tokens used for their governance. For voting. So, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, if you go look at the recent one with Decentraland and the wearables, I think only like 10 million tokens were used in the voting.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so it makes sense. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying we've got so much to cover. Might as well just jump.
Yeah, go ahead.
Keep going. Anyway, so yeah, that's the token supply. Shoot. I just realized I muted myself on Zoom, but I didn't mute myself on Discord, and I was talking to my wife. So Anorak's like, dude, mute yourself.
I didn't notice, yeah, because I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah,
lol.
You know how many times I've thought like I've done my stream on Zoom and shit, and then I cancel the stream, and then I'm still streaming my voice on Discord because I haven't exited that, and I'm like talking shit. Someone's like, dude, mute yourself. I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, we need like AI assistants when we do these things, dude. That day will come.
Yeah, AI assistants.
Yeah, like programmed AI bots just to like make sure we don't fuck up because we're human. You know what I mean?
I know. We cover our asses.
We tend to do that a lot. Yeah.
So Animoca
Brands. Sorry, Will, you go.
No, I was just gonna say that Animoca Brands is the entity that started Sandbox, right, in their mobile space, and now they're transitioning to what we know now as Sandbox, the cryptocurrency company, right?
Does anyone know anything about Animoca Brands itself? Like any other successful products that are?
Weren't they behind all of those? I think they're basically a licensing company, so they've gone after like big licenses. As you can see, they've got like
dude, Power Rangers. Damn.
Is that Power Rangers?
Yeah,
yeah. No, they've got some big licenses. They've got some pretty big licenses, and what they do is they build games around those licenses.
Yeah, of course. Good idea.
So they were doing this for many, many years before this. So NFTs make like perfect sense, because when you have licenses and you do like sales and you grow a game, you can interrupt the assets to another game. Mm-hmm. So you can actually merge the you're getting double, triple value for these license assets.
That's right. Very cool.
That's why the guy's gone really, really hard. I don't know if you've seen like how hard he's invested, but he's like so much money he's spending gathering licenses or like building games. That's why Sandbox is like one of maybe 4 they have going on at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, that's you're saying 4 NFT projects, right? Or NFT games?
Yeah.
Okay,
There's multiple.
cool.
They've got like the F1 Delta Time.
Okay, cool.
I think they're doing something with Atari, all kinds of stuff.
Awesome. Well, that gives us more things to look at in the future. Then put that on the docket, boys.
Yeah.
And local brands.
Maddie, to note, there's 4 minutes remaining on the Zoom call. Just a heads up.
True. Maybe we should restart.
Maybe we should speed. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I was gonna say let's speed run, but yeah, let's restart.
I don't think we can speed run in 5 minutes, can we?
No, definitely.
We have to. Yeah, it would suck.
All right. We'll be back.
That one movie is my guess. I think Ghostbusters came out with a movie that year. But yeah, that's
2018, $40 million and 70 million player creations. That's nuts.
That's crazy. 70 million player creations. So we haven't even gotten to that part yet. What does that mean? Like who's making these creations? And what are they?
Yeah, well, there's no way to kind of. We almost need to do like a whole review on just like the old Sandbox 1.0.
I don't know if we do, because it's kind of like I don't know if they've like totally abandoned that world, but
yeah, I think they might
probably
have.
like. You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they totally abandoned that, and like they're all in transitioning into this blockchain space. So but they're bringing a lot of their experience and ideas into this new model. That's what they're doing.
Pretty much.
Can you share your screen again, Maddie? I can't see.
Oh shit! Isn't it shared? All this time I'm like thinking it's shared.
It was until we restarted.
My bad. Well, is it still streaming in Discord? Wait a second.
Yeah, I think we're good.
We're still streaming in Discord, right?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you're right. Oops. Yeah, no, I had the roadmap up, so we'll just quickly go on this. We're still right at the start. There's so much to go through. But Q4, 2020 looks like they're going to go public with the actual game. So it says game public beta. I don't know if this means that the platform will be live to everyone, or if it's just like, so with dozens of games available to play, supported by the foundation. So maybe they're, I know like Gabby's team, which is the Battle Racers guys, what's their name?
Mm-hmm.
What's the?
Oh man,
I forgot the name.
Yeah, I'm there too, dude. It's like right there. What is it called? Yeah.
They're probably like getting their like 10 to 15 first test games going on.
Okay.
But what's interesting is 2021 land public sale. So they're still selling land.
Right.
In 2021. So it's been 2-3 years of selling land. And this is something Wasabi brought up, and this is something I think too, is that buying land doesn't really have any appreciation because there's just so much supply left. I think they've sold, or they will sell like 30-40% by the end of this year. So that's like maybe 80,000 pieces of land out of the 160,000. There's still a lot of land to hit supply. So unless you get land that's in really good locations, so we've seen some land that's next to Atari sell for like crazy money.
But we just 10X. Talked about how the location doesn't matter if everything's a teleport anyways. Even if you're right next to Atari, it's not like you can just walk over there. It's a teleport.
But there's still like visual traffic that you get from being next to Atari, right?
I don't know, dude. Well, it's like teleporting.
Investors don't care. I think it's just like that premium. Like we had Decentraland parcels going with zero traffic next to roads. For like 30K USD, right? Single parcels. 50K USD.
People think it's just speculation is what's going on.
Yeah. Right? Just the general speculation, and you know, people just want to be next to brands and stuff.
That's right.
So the team is actually interesting here. There's 42 of them, so it's a pretty big project. 28 of them are in Argentina, so 11 in France, 2 in Korea, and 1 in Japan. So these are relatively inexpensive areas. I think France, Japan, and probably Korea, they're probably the most expensive, but that's where they have the least amount of people. So their burn rate is not as high as, you know, an American company would be, where everybody's like making, you know, 90 grand and above if you're one of the C-level people.
like some kind of San Francisco based entity.
Dude,
like,
and 90 grand, that's like a low salary for a CEO of any, company that's been invested.
So this is good to you. It's good to see like teams that are founded.
Yeah, I mean, it's good because in the terms of like burn rate, I would expect like this is a huge team, but because most of their teams in Argentina, they're
I'll be back.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
So in terms of like expecting more updates to the platform, then this is pretty solid, right? They're going to be around for a while, especially if they're going to be selling land all the way through 2021. But I don't know, man. I feel like selling land is going to get a little bit saturated. Like it just in general, like Decentraland is already done with their land sale, but CryptoVoxels, like I think the guy at CV, he's contemplating whether or not to sell more land, and he needs more cash. So like that's a big problem.
Well, they also have their native cryptocurrency, the Sand, to kind of like fall back on, right? Since they hold like a huge war chest and treasury of.
Yeah,
just like any other project, now they're incentivized just like the rest of us, right, to really grow their ecosystem and platform and onboard like some actual adoption to drive that speculative value up. So to me, that seems to be like their sustainability model. I'm sure they're thinking of more things to do to like generate more revenue, but
like one of our predictions was that any of these NFT token projects that are going to going towards an ERC20 like Sandbox did with Sand, they're going to have to think a little bit more DeFi stuff just because that's really what really galvanizes people to keep the coin. Otherwise, there's a whole lot of sell pressure and there's no other incentive to have Sand unless you're going to be playing in the sandbox, if you will.
Sure.
But so I think tokens need to play a little bit larger in these different markets, such as investors who want to buy Sand but don't necessarily want to build games. I mean, Roblox, it's cool and everything, but I don't think it's for everybody. But if you're an investor, then getting Sand might be a good idea. So that's who, like if you're coming out with a token, you got to think about that side as well.
Yeah, I think you got to disconnect to some degree the investors with the creators. So, for example, the speculators. I'm going to call them speculators with the creators because you have people that buy land and obviously sit on them and do nothing,
for sure,
and disappear. And they're speculating on the future value, but they're holding assets that are valuable for the future of that project, right? We see that in multiple projects, Decentraland, Somnium Space, and CryptoVoxels. None of them are free from this issue where you have people just holding land and doing nothing with it. So we need to separate the land assets and like the ability to build with the investable assets, which might just be the mana token, or which might be
the Sand token,
which might be tokens that are backed by land that are not the NFTs.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, ultimately, I don't know, these land parcels at $40. I mean, you can 10x that, but is that really going to change your life? Like, I don't know. And so I'm thinking Sand is where the investors are going to be at. The speculators.
10x is pretty big, dude.
Well, 10x. I mean, from a single parcel, I mean, $40 to $400. I mean, that's not really going to do anything, right?
But the difference here is that since it's not an open world, there shouldn't be as much of a dilemma as far as like whether or not people are developing on their lands. You know what I mean? It's much more noticeable and much more of a problem for like an actual open world metaverse, where the whole purpose of it is like every land is an interconnected experience. So if people aren't building because they are these speculative investors, it's a big, huge problem.
Yeah, that's true.
But for the Sandbox, they won't have to worry about that. You could just TP from location to location. Like if they're only like big devs at four corners of their metaverse, like who cares? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, honestly, the land layout is completely irrelevant to everything that they're doing because even through the search menu, it's going to be totally like the Roblox are, in my opinion. It's going to just be like this popular area function where you're just going to see the top trending land or the top trending games. You can't even call them land. They're going to be the top trending games that you can just jump straight into.
100%.
So I don't know. The land model is just more like an investor speculative market, I think.
Like the players will probably never even know like land exists, like you're saying, like their first introduction to this metaverse is going to be a game menu, just like you're describing.
So do you think the land style, the land kind of layout is merely for the speculators, like you're saying, Maddie, where that's how Sandbox can raise some funds to pay for some of this stuff? Like that's the only mechanism.
Well, you see, think about it, man. You see Decentraland raise like $20 million during a land ICO.
Yeah.
It's the only one in the space that's done a land ICO. Surely there'll be people coming in being like, holy shit, wait a second. Raising money to your MMO virtual platform, whatever it may be, via land selling works.
Yeah.
And there's not many competitors. We have the money and the funds to do so. So how do we design something that we can raise the funds that way? So this is, I think, their way of doing it. But obviously different sizes of lands matters, because that's where land ownership matters, because one, you get the rights to build something in the sandbox, and two, depending on how much land you have, the larger the experiences you can build. So if you want to build something crazy, then you can have this massive land that maybe game developers would rent it from you because they want to build a big MMO.
Yeah,
think of it as just this is like a bandwidth sell, if anything.
Yeah,
this is
right.
This is all developer bandwidth. So as a speculator,
go ahead. I was just gonna say the other thing that they have going for them is how easy it is to make games. Right, you only have to be a creative game designer. All the underlying like technical aspects to make a game, which is a lot of stuff, is already covered within their builder design. So I think that's like a huge thing for Sandbox. To anybody can make any game that they want.
Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet, dude. You're jumping ahead.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Let's keep moving forward. So one thing I like about the map that they have is that you can sorry about the cat, but you can see.
Oh, yo, it's the cat, dude. I haven't seen your cat in forever. But yeah,
he just jumps and shit. But you can see the logos and that people have here, so you can actually see where others are located. So if your buddies are like located up here, you can be like, oh well, I want to get a land up here. So this is something Decentraland doesn't have, or I think CryptoVoxels doesn't have either, or even Somnium Space, where you can actually see and know where to buy land based on just one glance of the map. It's actually really smart by them.
Yeah, I mean, like kind of like these other metaverses need to give landowners the right to kind of like brand their own like land. States.
I was actually speaking to August and he was on board, and I think he said that he's going to put like the ability to use the builder to upload a logo.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, definitely need to go in that direction.
I agree.
All right, let's move on.
So this looks cool. All right, now we're at the Twitter.
So they had some game maker contests recently, and they just released their land pre-sale 4. So
the 4th sale, yeah. Okay, and they have Smurfs branding. I'm not sure what that means. If there's some kind of like a partnership there with the Smurfs.
I think what happened, and I'm thinking about this, but I think like a lot of these IPs and relationships were built maybe 4 or 5 years ago when these brands were bigger and they were probably like had the apps for it. So that's why you're seeing Smurfs. That's why you're seeing like Adam's Family, Shaun the Sheep. These guys are relevant like 5-6 years ago.
You're right, dude. Yeah,
but nothing really now, right? Like, why don't they have Disney or Marvel or something, which obviously are very big, but maybe they're using like those existing relationships to have that brand power at the moment.
Yeah. So can you scroll up? Can you scroll up a little bit? I want to see their followers. It's at 55,000. Okay. So what number did you say they were at a few weeks ago?
I'd say about a month ago they were at 13 or 14,000. Since the IEO of Binance, it's.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, maybe that
was tripled since then.
So that's a little fast. I mean, if they were at 13,000, now they're at almost 60,000. I mean, that seems a little weird. I think maybe Binance has still that kind of power, but even I've been talking about Binance like for a little while, and the steam of IEOs has like dwindled significantly since their first 3 that launched with Seller and like 2 others. And so I don't know if Binance has that kind of power to create like 40,000 new followers, but maybe they do.
Yeah, I don't think so, to be honest.
By the way. Just give me a second.
Iman's down.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think so. I don't think they've got the power to do like 40,000 new followers, unless, like, if you think about it, Wi-Fi, which is Andre Cronje's project, he didn't even get that much followers, right? And that's like got a ton more followers and people following that space than NFTs. Like, it's DeFi. So, can you hear me, by the way?
Iman, can you hear us? Someone can't see the stream. Is there a way that you can kill it and come and cut it back on, Maddie?
Let me try.
Yeah, see if that works.
It says live.
Let me check the app here. Just a second, guys. For those who can hear us.
I'm gonna stop streaming real quick.
Just want to confirm because the visual aspect is kind of important.
Mm-mm. Well, can anyone else see the screen?
All right, I'm back.
Oh. There you are, man. We can hear you.
Oof. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know. My headset just like crapped out on me randomly. But what did I miss?
Not much. Can you guys see the screen, by the way? Anyone can confirm if they can or can't see the screen? Oh, they can't see the screen. What the hell? Can't see stream, but can hear. No. Okay. Discord is sharing the screen. Stop sharing. Okay,
yeah,
let me
it's
exit
weird.
and come back on.
Yeah, I tried to get into the stream and I couldn't see it.
I think this may have happened last time, and then one of you guys started streaming.
Oh,
is that what happened last time?
I think that's when we hijacked Frankie's house.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you guys see the stream now? Someone says it's back.
Okay.
Okay. No, it's back. Yeah, they can see it now. Cool.
Yes, it's good now. Yes. Okay, sweet. Okay, where were we?
Thanks for the feedback, guys. All right.
It's back on Twitter.
All right. Well, so you're bringing up some funny business that you noticed.
Yeah. So, I mean, because if you go look at each of their tweets, the one that gets like the most retweets is this one right here got 796 and not as many likes. So that's sort of kind of weird.
It instantly like
it sends like
red flag for you?
Yeah, the little spidey sense is tingling a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So what I do is like look at their other tweets that don't have like, I don't know, please retweet, follow and retweet, and you get like free land or whatever. And see what their engagement is. And it's not as high, but what you notice is like most projects, they have a lot more likes than they have retweets just because, I don't know, man. I guess it's just easier for people to like it and not retweet it because it's not retweeted to their own stream, right, to their followers. So.
Oh, Will, we can't hear you.
Oh, crap. Damn it.
Oh, no. Dang.
Hold on.
And he's talking red flags.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, there's some deep diving going on, guys.
Where's Elon when we need him, dude?
Anorak's like my favorite colored red flags. Oh, no, my favorite colored flags. So maybe you have to disconnect and reconnect to Discord.
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Okay, so he can hear. Open is saying he can hear all of you.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So what I was saying is, what I typically do when looking for projects is I look at their engagement on just the regular tweets, and if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see an example of a regular
1231.
tweet. Yeah. Something. So a project has 55,000 followers, and there's 12, 20, 30 retweets, and their likes are within that realm under 100. So that tells me like those followers are not like real followers, right? They're not engaging with the content. If you guys follow any of these huge YouTubers or anything like that, anytime they tweet something as ridiculously stupid, they still get thousands of likes and thousands of retweets and all this engagement. But like these other projects don't have that degree of engagement. So the one that they have like 700 retweets and not as many likes, like that's just an indication that they're potentially paying for ads or something, which depending on how you look at it, it could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, but I think in this case they're trying to push their project. So I mean, it's just something to consider when looking at the social media engagement, which is a big big aspect when thinking about, buying sand as an investor.
Mm-hmm. So I was wondering, DCL as well, like they've got 55,000 followers, and some of their tweets they get engagement, some of them they don't. And I wonder if we can attribute, I wasn't there in the early days of DCL, but I would assume that for the Sandbox, if a lot of these followers came in the last 1 month, they'd be pretty engaged, right? I would assume that they'd want to know what's happening.
Yeah, you would think right now is like peak Sandbox hype cycle. Immediately after a Binance launch, immediately after, I mean, their public beta is like, right, I guess around the corner, if not already launched. So like, this is it. This is the time where like engagement should be at all-time highs. You know what I mean?
Another aspect of why I like Sandbox a lot is because they already have a prototype. Just like Decentraland has their own prototype, Sandbox's prototype is Roblox. And as successful as Roblox is, if you just translate that into like the crypto space, like it should be successful, right? Oh damn. Join the cult.
Yeah, what's happening?
What's going on here?
What's happening in Decentraland, dude?
That's
We're
crazy.
missing out. What the fuck, dude?
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is funny.
Why am I not in this cult?
Yeah, right?
That's pretty cool.
That's funny. Everyone got their weird hairstyles. Maybe that's why those eye things were selling like crazy, because everyone was buying them. Holy shit.
Look at that, dude. How did y'all organize this? What's going on over there?
Dude, we got DJ Khaled in there, dude.
I don't have the top. I still haven't done the class.
Wow.
Shamefully.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
dude,
crazy.
we got hijacked. We got hijacked.
Oh god. But anyway,
what is that black thing?
Let me see if I can.
It's an avatar. Okay, yeah, it's like a ghost, dude. When it was minimized, it's like, how's there a ghost in there?
Yeah,
okay.
Oh my god, this is a pretty big cult.
Yeah, it is.
All right, we're all looking at the stream chat for whoever's listening to this and doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
All right,
that's pretty cool.
Anyway, let's just finish this off. So, I mean, companies paying for ads, I don't think there's any problem if they're going down the paid ads route. But I think as someone investing in it, you have to look beyond. Like, that has to be something you have to consider, because whoever's paying for ads, whether it be Decentraland, whether it be the Sandbox, whoever it is, I know because I used to be an advertiser back in the day and I used to pay Facebook, is that it's very easy to do like likes campaigns where you just select that you want to increase your likes, and then the platform focuses sharing your content to people that are more like happy. So you're going to get more likes. So it looks like this is something that happened here. But if you also, and again, I don't know if Decentraland did this in the early days. I'm just finding this out with the Sandbox right now. But if you go to quoted tweets and you scroll down, once this thing loads, you can actually see an ad for someone that said, someone that said, follow the Sandbox and follow.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
this
follow.
This is yeah.
Was it
this one?
Peak Me.
So this account here, Pick Me Prizes, giving one person $50 in 24 hours. Follow the Sandbox and follow them. And this alone has 627 comments.
Yeah.
Almost 1,000 tweets.
Just for $50, dude?
Yeah, that's wild.
And if you click into it, the first comment actually says ad. So I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ultimately, the main takeaway about the social media topic is don't just go to their main page and look at that they have 55,000 followers, right? Actually go through their stream, their feed, and see what the engagement is, because people can pay for these follows, and it doesn't really translate to like anything.
Yeah.
And so just dig a little bit more deep, and then make your decision.
I think it's important for not necessarily the Sandbox, just because I think what they have backing their reputation is their history of, they've been in this, not the blockchain space, but the gaming market for years, like a decade now.
Right.
But these same tactics we're probably going to see down the line whenever we analyze like a lot, especially in the DeFi space.
Yeah.
They might utilize the exact same methods to kind of appear like they have a genuine community and a lot of engagement and whatnot. And then like a week later, they're gonna rug pull the
That's
fuck out
right.
of you and take
Exactly.
all your money.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's definitely important to. This has to be on the list as far as like due diligence.
Yeah, absolutely. This is like due diligence, like hygiene. Is like make sure you just go deeper, as deep as you can, because 55,000 followers doesn't mean anything.
And this is what kind of people mean when they say do your own research. It's not
That's
like
right.
kind of just reading the white paper. It's like looking at socials,
Yes.
looking at even Discord numbers. Are they legit? Are the community members legit?
Yep.
Are the people even running the show? Do they
show
building
faces?
Their own games, or are they actually getting a community built games? Like what's happening here?
Yeah.
And again, this is not just something saying bad about Sandbox. It's just something to keep in mind. Like,
that's right.
Whoever does this moving forward, especially in the DeFi space, like you said.
Yeah. No. Oh man, I'm scared to get into that space. I feel like week after week it's gonna be like scam. Like you know what I mean? Crazy.
So I think we got 10 minutes left until this thing closes, so we can just quickly skim through the creator section.
Yeah. The actual like game. You know what I mean? So this is the voxel marketplace.
Yeah, so this is where anybody can come in and like voxelize their creations and then sell it on their marketplace, right? You don't have to necessarily have land for this.
Yeah, which is awesome. Like from Sandbox perspective, like they don't have to come up with the content. They're relying on their community, and that's kind of like the beauty of blockchain, where creators can monetize their skills. And people purchasing them can actually have true ownership of these things. And so what do they do at the end of the day? I mean, I think you could also animate them as well.
Yeah, that's right.
You probably have to click on one to actually see that, but it's full blown because like you said, well, this is the advantage of the Sandbox. Because everything is so easy to do. I mean, it's like playing like Legos virtually, essentially. You just drag and drop little squares until you come up with something cool, like this little icy dragon.
Yeah, if you look at on the left side of the panel, they had 2,000 little voxel NFTs, and like in comparison to a place like MetaZone, it's only like 100.
Yeah.
So
but again, it's a lot more difficult. You have to actually have Blender and like
well, absolutely
skills.
Yeah, the skills required for something like decentralized is much higher.
Yeah. Agreed. Again, another monster hurdle Decentraland has to face. But yeah, we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
It's
so I don't know if you guys saw, like you can. What's interesting to me is how this will work, because it's similar to wearables in Decentraland, where all right, you're going to put a rare or a legendary status on it, but if everyone can make it, is it going to even be rare?
Yeah, right? Exactly.
So what's going to stop someone from making an exact dragon and submitting it? So it's interesting to see how they fix that problem, because that's a global problem throughout all the NFT creator space. It's like, how do you give people licenses? Do you limit this somehow? And you can also see they've got powers. So there's like some stat things that can build into the characters. Yeah.
Yeah. So a creator of these things, they just arbitrarily set these parameters, right? Like, I want it to be rare, or I don't want it to be rare. I want 10,000 of these. They could determine that, right? So yeah, I think a lot of it that's tough. It's a lot tougher to establish, I guess, a brand presence in this world as a creator, because everything is literally the same. You know what I mean? How do you compare creators in a voxelized world?
I think if you make a really cool dragon and you become the dragon guy, I think your NFTs are more valuable because they come from you, the dragon guy, versus someone who just copies your dragon and it's coming from some other guy, right? I think that's how the market is going to probably play out, even though you can just straight copy the voxels.
Yeah. True.
It is going to be like the artist. It's similar to the art world, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You have standalone artists. You want to get some of his stuff.
Yeah.
Standalone creators. But let's move on. We went through the land sale. I don't know if you guys saw that, but 11% of supply was going to be released, and this is the last land sale they're doing. Our largest land sale, but I think they said the last land sale for this year or something.
19,000 lands for sale? Jeez.
So $40 each. I think they're trying to raise $1 million, so $43 each. Yeah, $1 million.
Yeah, I guess it's not too high.
So this is the last one ever?
No, this is the last one before it's not stages anymore. I think.
Okay.
I think.
And I think what's unique to this one as well, Anorak, correct me if I'm wrong, this one you need sand in order to purchase, right? Which is different. I think leading up to this one, you could purchase with, I think, anything like Ethereum or fiat, I believe. So now they're kind of like locking in people into the sand ecosystem slowly. It's like now you need, kind of like how Decentraland did it. If you want to buy land, you better get some mana. You know what I mean? Which is cool.
So it says it will be the very last pre-sale to take place before the launch of the public round at the end of the year. So I think the public round must be no more discounts. But the way they launched this set of pre-sale was very batched. There was like 1%, 2% released each time.
So yeah, if you look at the Discord channel, the stream chat, Anorak posted the chart of sales. So there's a pre-sale round 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the prices for each one. And max land at the very beginning was 3,000, and then the public sale is going to be 83,000. So the one that you're talking about, Maddie, is close to 19,000. So yeah, that's a lot of land. That's for sure.
Okay, he's saying no fiat. It's been DAI or ETH up until this point.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so wait a second. So how much land has been sold so far?
I guess 12,000. That's 18, like 21,000 lands.
Wait, 18 plus 12 is 30 plus 6 plus 3 is 40. So 40,000 lands?
Yeah, 40,000. Yeah.
So they've got still 125,000 lands to go?
Yeah.
That can't be right. Is that right?
120. Damn. I don't know.
Yeah, because
the
lot, right?
That's a big dump.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm bullish on sand token, but I'm not bullish on land yet. Although I know long term, 2 to 3 years from now, it's going to be a popping game platform, probably. But right now, if you're buying land and you want it to appreciate in the next 1 or 2 years, I don't know. It's kind of like with all the sell pressure coming.
Maddie, I mean, you were an early investor in land in Decentraland. What gave you the idea to buy in Decentraland? Like, what was it?
I wasn't an early investor in Decentraland. I actually missed it. I got in because I was like, holy shit, I can buy land for 3,000 mana and sell it for 5,000 mana the next day. So mine was like real-time gains, but that was only because the demand was there to justify that action of mine of buying.
Okay.
So with the Sandbox, and that's a secondary market demand. That's not primary market pre-sale demand. That's people coming in the secondary market very keen on buying land. So that was something that
but the secondary market is only there because there was no more sales. There's no more auctions for Decentraland.
Exactly. So if Decentraland was still doing a pre-sale, there would have been no secondary market.
Yeah, exactly.
I doubt it. Yeah.
So I see what you're saying. Okay. So wait until the land has been completely purchased, and then see what the demand is after all the land is out.
Or you could wait.
Yeah.
So what happened with the crypto voxels was like, out of the 3,000 parcels they had, that last 500 parcels of selling every Wednesday, that was like going nuts. And that's why we had like this week after week of crazy crypto voxelsness, is because it was coming to that end of the pre-sale. So that's why for me, it's like, all right, let me see if they can sell out at least 60% of their land. If they can, that means there's some longevity here.
Yeah.
And then I was going to do probably some buying in between that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Anyway, let's talk about the token a little bit, and then we'll close it off. But the Sand token, which I'm bullish on the Sand token, because I think the language of the broader crypto is partnerships. It is about saying, hey, look, we're bringing in this company and this company, and having games that are partnered with them. So the language of cryptocurrency and the investment space is, one, staying relevant and having that social virality, which I think Sandbox has, and the whole partnership power, which they're probably going to have too.
Awesome.
And like, if you think about it, like everything is getting wrecked right now, but they've gone up 7%. So there is like some movement there if they announce that the land. And actually, if you think about it, I'm trying to reverse engineer their thinking, is they released such a big pre-sale, which is 10% of the supply, almost $1 million worth. And they released it at a time where Sand is only like 1 month old as an IEO. So one, they released their Sand token out there, and now they're creating that demand in mass so that it reflects with the increase of that Sand token. So because they haven't done a pre-sale this big before with their land, right? So now that the pre-sale is big, it's going to demand a lot of Sand. So that's why they're kind of like using this as an example.
Yeah, it's good strategy on their end. They're
very smart. I'll give them that. They're
Yeah.
really, really well thought out, smart individuals.
Exactly. And they're very connected with not just what they're doing, but what's going on in the broader crypto space. Because I don't know if we talked about it yet, but their whole they have staking incentives also for this sand cryptocurrency, which Will was talking about earlier. A lot of projects they're seeing like depreciating over time effects for their, especially if they have like some kind of airdrop model, because they don't have any utility to their token itself. It's just like some kind of speculative governance thing. But I think Sandbox early recognized like that's a huge fatal flaw a lot of projects are going through. Like you have to incentivize people to want to hold on, or like generate some other type of additional value through the staking of this token. So they're doing that, which is to me is a green flag. I'm looking for teams that are on the very, very tippy tip of the forefront, like that. They know they understand.
That they're thinking about this stuff.
Yeah, they understand the psychology of the crypto market as a whole, because that's kind of that's where the money is if you think 100%. About it.
Yeah, totally agree.
Well, the culture changes in times, right? Before it was like burn tokens and everyone was okay with that.
Exactly.
But now it's like distribute that wealth, stake that wealth, and it is more incentivizing.
And support your community, right? Like, because that's if the community can't grow with your platform, then nothing's ever going to get built. You know what I mean?
That's true.
If they have to figure out how to reward and continually get that engagement going. So these guys get that. I like that. Oh, there it is. That's I think the interface. What does that look like to you? Looks like
sushi.
It's like everything we've seen.
Yeah, but you know what? I was just gonna say Uniswap did a very good job in like setting the groundwork for like an understandable user interface, and then Sushi just like I don't know, memified it exactly. And now everybody's copying it, which they should. I mean, there's actual value in these shit coins and these scam rug pulls that we can extract. Like just like this UI.
Sounds like a scammer, man.
I know, right? But you know what? That's what works.
That line just sounds like such a scammer line. Say it again.
That's what works, though. I mean, that's like we're just pointing out like how effective scams are, how they're able to how they're able to convince you into something like even just FOMOing in just because it's like easy to understand interface. So if we can take that and like utilize it for good projects,
something good, right?
Yeah, something good, then it's better.
It's actually supporting like something besides vapor tokens.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Some actual growth comes out the other end.
Man, I'm a big believer in just simplicity. Literally, this is perfect, and that's why I know I can tell why Uniswap did well, is because all you need, man, is just like a header to explain what it is, maybe a subtitle, and then 2 action points, which they have here. That's it.
Yeah, input, output.
That's it, man. Yeah, like people go through these massive landing pages. It's not necessary when you don't need that.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of this stuff.
Yeah, and it's usually like indication of like innovation, right? Whenever they don't have to put that much effort on other things other than like the utility of whatever it is they just created. It's like it's so dumpster looking, but it's so amazing and like essential that like people are willing to forego the dump.
Yeah. Can you scroll down, Matt? Scroll down a little bit. Huh? I want to see. There's a section called NFT meets DeFi, and okay, I just wanted to see this connecting virtual real estate and sand liquidity. So this is probably one of the newer like innovations in the NFT space, where they're combining the NFT stuff with DeFi, which, man, that's definitely something every single project is going to be working on for sure. 721s that represent Sandbox Universe allows players to build and monetize games. So yeah, this is all good. These are all like green flags.
We found some green.
Yeah.
And a little bit of red.
Every review we do, just so everyone watching, we try and find a bit of red.
Yeah.
So
we want to.
We can't just talk about the good stuff. I mean, this isn't just like, oh, it's all great, go buy it. This is like, what's good, what's bad, what's red, what's green, and I'm gonna try to be as critical as possible, because naturally I am that way.
This is just a representation of the work that we kind of go through when looking at projects, evaluating projects. We have to look at everything, because I mean, there's only so much money in our pockets right now, and we're trying to multiply that, right? So, gotta be smart.
Sorry, guys, we have less than a minute, so let's just close it out.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
That was fun.
Yeah. So overall, this is a healthy project. I mean, this is a very popular one. So I think so far everything was good in my eyes.
Long term, it's really good. It's just the when you want to invest and what you want to invest in. There's multiple assets. There's the ERC20. Then there's land. Then there's land that's really well located. Then there's land in the outskirts. So all those kind of things need to be taken into consideration when buying. It's not just Sandbox is great. Let me invest something now. It'll go up in 2 years. I mean, it'll go up in 3 months, 6 months. It also depends on your investment strategy.
Yeah. So, before it cuts out next week, we're doing Axie. So stay tuned.
That's right. Get your Axies ready. Yeah. All right, we're out. See you
later.
Guys,
thanks.
Peace.
Oh shit! We have to do the giveaway.
Oh yeah, the giveaway. Just do it.
Well, let's come back. We'll come back and do the giveaway. I'm gonna
Wait! Don't leave! Don't leave! All right.
Wait, stay here, boys and girls.
Yeah, we're giving stuff away.
Yeah.
All right, we're leaving this though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's jump on Discord, right?
So, if either me, Will, or Iman get this, we're gonna go to the next person. I think that's what Anorak did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay. So one more click. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Luke, come on down, man.
Yeah.
Everybody give him a little clapper in the chat.
There you are.
A little clap.
Luke wins. You win, man.
Congrats, dude.
This is cool. I like this giveaway thing.
Yeah. You're officially part of the Sandbox metaverse. You can't get out ever. I'm sure you're locked in for life, dude. That's assuming you already own land,
Build everyone a cool game, and then we can all go visit it.
That's right. Yeah, now your job is to build us a headquarters in the Sandbox, and then we can all go in there every week.
Yeah.
All right, gents, that was fun. So we'll give that away. I'll get in touch with Luke. So again, we're trying to build some momentum here. Next week we're going to do Axie Infinity. There's a lot to unpack there. Do you guys like the length of these? Do you guys want them shorter? Do you want us to skim over a lot of this stuff, or do you like this 1 hour kind of analysis? Short or long? He likes the detail. So Luke likes the detail.
All right.
I've got this like assumption that people are very short attention span, but maybe that's just me. An hour.
The other thing is we're going to start getting into more obscure tokens. Like right now we're just talking like the mainstream tokens, but eventually we'll get into like the weird shit out there.
Yeah.
The 100x potentials.
The dark web of the crypto world, pretty much.
So user Incarnadine, which is a very cool name, says that 30 minutes twice a week. So that's pretty much what we had in mind.
Yeah.
So what we were going to do is do like 30 minutes of us talking and then maybe 10 minutes with the community. So get like people on board that want to share their experience, or even just 20 minutes with us and then 10 minutes with the community. And then, do that twice a week. So we're going to review 2 projects a week. And Anorak saying Moon Boy Mondays. We might as well just do a Moon Boy Mondays session where we just jump on and talk about the hype coins.
Yeah.
But there's so much to cover, and like if anyone wants to jump on and do their own show, really, then you're welcome.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we need to collect all the everybody who's into like their own little world in cryptocurrencies. We need to learn about them because we don't want to miss anything. So anyone who wants to jump in and like talk about this stuff, it's all open.
That's right. Yeah, whatever has your fixed your attention and affinity for that week, let us know about it. That's the whole point. That sounds good.
I wonder if we can try a Moon Boy Monday session this Monday.
Yeah. What would that sound like? We're just like soon moon over and over again, or
Bitcoin. Did you see that Bitcoin?
Yeah, dude. It's so much for your soon moon projections, dude. Everything's been bleeding since last week. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, we were talking about Bitcoin, right? I think we were talking about Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's right. Bitcoin's doing okay.
Yeah.
But
dude, think about Bitcoin right now. It's never done this stable at a high price ever. And so this is such a big deal that I don't think people are talking about it enough.
Yeah, well, it's on the docket, so we'll get there.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so let's just close it out. So we may do the Monday thing, we may not, but again, hopefully next week we'll have a couple more streams. Thanks everyone for joining. Luke, I'll get in touch with you, man. And yeah, we'll catch you next week.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, guys. Peace out.